Welcome to the Pelvis Party, a health talk show in partnership with Olmsted Medical Center, where experts and guests dive into real conversations about hormones, sexual and pelvic health, and everything in between. We're creating a space for honest, judgment-free talk. There are no dumb questions, no awkward topics, and definitely no shame.
Hi friends, we are back with another episode of the Pelvis Party. My name is Becky Mopetit. I am the owner of Rochester Local. This is Britt Marshall. She's with Olmsted Medical Center Marketing. And this is Dr. Melissa Richards. She is chair of the Olmsted Medical Center OBGYN department. And most importantly, we are three friends. And we like to get real with one another, talking about women's health and our pelvises, hence the Pelvis Party. Last time we talked about the fact that it is bladder month. We talked about urinary incontinence. Today we want to talk about something else that can happen with your bladder, which it can fall out. Your bladder can fall out. Well, maybe not in such extreme terms.
Yeah, I mean, that seemed a little extreme, Becky.
Pretty extreme. I've never been accused of being like a minimalist in anything that I do. So
maybe bulge. Is it a more
bulge? It can bulge out. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about prolapse. That's what it's called. Prolapse.
Yeah. See, that's
Okay.
So it's really interesting to me. So pelvic organ prolapse has to do basically with things with gravity with kids, and people are like, oh, I don't have that problem because I've never had kids. I'm like, oh, you might have that problem. So it has to do with, we've got our vagina, and things can kind of like fall forward and out, like your bladder.
Yep.
Your rectum can also like kind of pooch out, as well as kind of
That is a whole other thing that I
we'll
rectum pooches out, writing it down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's called a rectocele.
Oh,
we'll like go back and forth between like fancy names and like names that people use.
Yeah.
Doctory names. So, and then the uterus itself can kind of pooch out, and that's usually actually what's kind of pushing the bladder out. So pelvic organ prolapse, another really super common issue. I'm going to say once again, over 50% of women have some type of pelvic organ prolapse. The trick here is symptomatic versus asymptomatic pelvic organ prolapse.
Have you heard any of your friends talk about pelvic organ prolapse?
Not in that way. Like
right?
My friends talk about discomfort during sex.
And is that like a symptom?
That's a symptom, right?
Yep, spot
Okay.
on. Oh, you're getting so
Oh
smart.
my gosh. I feel like, so in the last episode we talked about urinary incontinence, which is a little bit more acceptable to talk about, but I don't go out for drinks or coffee with my girlfriends and talk about prolapse.
Right.
And I just learned something, discomfort during sex is a symptom. Okay, sorry.
Yep, so it's a symptom. The interesting thing is it's not uncommon or a surprise when I'll get a phone call from the emergency department or a referral from the emergency department that a woman will be like, oh my gosh, there's a bulge coming out of my vagina, and they think they have cancer, right? Like that's where your brain goes, right? Yeah. Totally. And so they'll go into the emergency room and then they'll look and they're like, oh, that's just your bladder falling down. And it's, the question is, has that been going like slowly progressing and now there it is? It's bearing down, can make it worse throughout the day as, gravity throughout the day, like can make it worse. That all of a sudden at 11 o'clock at night after a day out in the garden, she's like wiping after she peed and she's like, oh my gosh, there's a giant bulge coming out of my vagina. And then ironic, she'll go into the ER and the ER is like, oh, it's a cystocele. And then I'll see her like the next day or the day before. And if I see her in the morning, I'll be like, oh, you don't even have hardly a bulge because it gets worse throughout the day.
Okay.
Exactly. Okay. So I'm really careful when I talk to patients about it because even from like 8 in the morning to 8 p.m., your prolapse can be like completely asymptomatic to symptomatic.
So you can be both. You can be symptomatic and asymptomatic.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. And then other symptoms would be if you think about your bladder, once again, stock tank, call back to earlier.
Yes, call back to earlier, stock tank and hoses.
Yep, totally. So if you think the bladder up and the urethra down, when you pee before prolapse, you empty completely. But if it's falling down a little bit, you're going to pee down to where the hose is, and then there's going to be pee sitting there because you can't get all the pee out. So like I noticed that myself. Like I'll pee and then I'll move forward and then you'll get more pee out.
Yes, you can. Okay. You're like tipping the cup, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're trying to get get the pee in the urethra so it gets out completely. So this is where you can see like pelvic organ prolapse and urinary incontinence kind of go hand in hand.
Wouldn't you know, like this, that seems very extreme, like to have a bulge down there. But some women don't.
So fascinating. This is where I think it's so crazy because I will see a woman for like a well exam and I'm very careful in how I talk to a woman in way of like, I'll do her exam and I'll see there's different stages. So we'll back up for a second. The different stages. So there's 1, 0, no prolapse at all. Like nothing. Everything is tucked where it should be. 1, it's kind of falling a little bit like halfway out the vagina. Stage 2, it's right at the vagina. So if you like put your finger a little further, stage 2. Stage 3, it's like bulging out. And stage 4, it's like completely out. And I'll see stage 2 is really common. I see that all the time in clinic, like where it's right at the vagina. And I'm like, oh, so do you ever feel like you don't empty completely?
Like at the end, like the entrance to the vagina, not like the cervix or in the canal, but like right there.
Totally. Like I'm like, I look at her bum or bottom, no, different area. I look at her bottom and I'm like, oh, I'll see it bulging right there. And they'll say, oh no, I don't notice anything. How? And then I'll ask questions. Do you feel pulling? Pressure, discomfort with sex, incomplete emptying of urine, and then she's like, oh no, this is great, everything's fine. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, pay attention to those symptoms, and if you have those symptoms, let me know. But then some people are like, oh my gosh, how did you know? And then we go down the path of like, okay, now we recognize that this is an issue. What do we want to do next? Like that segue?
Yeah, I like that segue. So I think it's really fascinating to hear that this is, again, 50% of women can have some sort of prolapse.
At least 50%.
So again, here we are, 3. I don't think that I struggle with this, but now maybe I'm asymptomatic.
Right. Well, it's about knowing your body.
Yes,
asking the questions,
knowing your body.
Curious.
And I also think it's really fascinating when you think about pop culture and what people talk about when it comes to women's health and what people don't talk about. So there are things that it's like popular to talk about, right? We think about Gwyneth Paltrow and all the things that she talks about and Goop or whatever, but no one really talks about
just bread and butter
pelvic organ prolapse. So what does OMC offer for that? Or like, what is the first step?
So once again, it's so important for women to hope, like, we'll get there eventually, but feel empowered to bring this up.
Yeah.
And then don't settle. And then all of our gynecology partners that I work with, for the most part, take care of women who have symptoms of pelvic organ prolapse. And then a big shout out again to who else?
Chris Klingle. Yeah, we should have a little jingle for the Klingle.
Oh my gosh, that would be perfect. I'm sure he would be super helpful.
Oh, I'm sure he's gonna love that. Yeah,
yes, definitely. So what's neat is you have full spectrum of what you can do. So first of all, understanding you don't have cancer. That's a big clutch thing to know.
I feel like women would just be like, okay, great, it's not cancer. I can live with anything.
Once you have that, like,
checked off the list.
And then I'm like, let's not settle.
Right, let's not settle.
And then, so we have the treatments. I think we have every treatment. So we have physical therapy, right? So when we think about what our vagina has done for us and been through, it is
showed a little love and respect.
Amazing. Like no other muscle area has done what our vaginas have done for us, right?
Yeah.
And so our pelvic floor, our pelvic bowl is full of all these muscles.
Pelvic bowl.
I know, isn't that nice? Like,
it's true.
Yeah, it's like a little
bowl of fruit.
And sometimes it gets a little, so.
Your pelvic fruit, is that gross? That's a little gross.
I mean, that's a little, but it's fine. No shaming. So pelvic floor physical therapy is amazing. So at OMC, we have 2 pelvic floor physical therapists that are just lovely. Amy and Gretchen. Just so good.
Okay.
And then, so physical therapy is a great, like, really nice conservative option. For some women, it's going to maintain what they already have. For some women, it's going to really improve their symptoms, like after having a baby, which we can talk about later. We also, pessaries.
And they give you exercises.
They totally give you exercise. That's the other thing, is understanding that they can customize whatever care that you want.
Sure.
So some women have more time than others to like come in, and some women do one visit. It's a one and done type of thing. insurance tends to cover symptomatic pelvic organ prolapse symptoms.
That's good because
Yeah,
it's,
right?
hello.
Because it's a health issue.
And it's as simple as a referral.
Totally,
Right,
it's a
just
referral.
from.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm sending Gretchen and Amy patients on a daily basis. Pessaries, do you two know what pessaries are?
No,
No.
I'm a little, oh boy.
Oh, I wish I read in a prop today. So pessaries are really great. So pessaries are like, we're not of a generation that was really familiar with diaphragms, but it's similar where, but menstrual cups would be like kind of similar.
Okay.
Where a pessary, I will bring in a box someday and
Okay,
we'll just
can't
go
wait.
through pessaries. But what it does is it re-supports. A good pessary re-supports whatever's falling out and you don't know it's there.
Okay. Okay. So it just kind of, is it on which side of the cervix would this pessary
So
fall
it
then?
goes in the vagina like a tampon. And some of them look like rings, some of them look like cubes, some of them look like donuts, and they're different sizes, like 0 to like 10
Okay.
that fit and you customize to your
Okay,
patient. So we literally have, I can't wait to bring this in, a briefcase of pessaries. And they're like, they're like 6 different pessaries types, and we have all the different sizes. So then we figure out what works. So a good pessary, you put it in, then we have like, there's a pessary fitting day. So you come in, we try the different pessaries, then you have to go to the bathroom and see what happens. So like bear down, and if it pops out, please don't grab your pessary out of the toilet.
Okay.
And then we try a different size. It's
Okay.
great.
Okay. Wow, that is fascinating. So there are a lot of different things
And surgery.
and surgery. So
And
we've
surgery.
got
For extreme cases.
Well, or like
matter.
you want, like everyone's so customized. Like if you're symptomatic, you want to get it taken care of. You know, surgery is definitive management. The biggest issue is make sure you want that first surgery to be the best surgery. Because once you get into like redoing surgery, that's where we get into issues with failure.
okay, gotcha.
Exactly.
So there are options. That
So
is what
many
we want to
options.
say. Pelvic prolapse, is a thing that happens. 50% of women
At least.
struggle with it. At least 50% of women struggle with it. OMC has solutions. Therapy, pessaries, surgery. Fascinating stuff. Cannot wait to see the briefcase of pessaries
gonna be
in a
great.
future episode. But probably all for today. So thank you for joining me again for Pelvis Party. If you want more information, you can go to rochesterlocal.com. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to the Pelvis Party. As we always say, there are no dumb questions, and this is a safe place to ask them. So please drop us a line. Let us know what's on your mind for a future episode.